and her own face, gazing back into the camera. What was she thinking in the days and weeks before her death? Years after she went into the woods? It's the biggest mystery of all.
That's all for this edition of Dateline. We'll see you again Thursday at 10, 9 Central. And of course, I'll see you each weeknight for NBC Nightly News. I'm Lester Holt. For all of us at NBC News, good night.
Live on NBC 12, this is News Watch 12 at 10.
Good evening, I'm Jessica Jukage. Judge Janet Protasiewicz says she will not recuse herself from hearing a Wisconsin redistricting case. Today, the Wisconsin Supreme Court voted along party lines 4-3 to hear a challenge to the Republican-drawn legislative maps. Judge Protasiewicz's decision to remain on the case increases the chance the Republicans who control the legislature and drew the maps may proceed with an unprecedented step of impeaching her. Assembly Speaker Robin Vos threatened impeachment if she does not step down. 2 lawsuits challenging the maps were filed the first week after Judge Protasiewicz joined the Supreme Court. Today, the court agreed to hear one of the cases and dismiss the other. Jeff, it's been a cold, rainy day. How's it looking for this weekend?
You know, it's been warmer. High temperatures today, pretty much in the 40s across the area. Tomorrow, same thing, so no real warm weather in sight anytime soon for us outside today. Look at the high temperatures. 48 in Rhinelander. 50 for Tomahawk, 53 for Antigo, so a cool day. The average high still being about 59 or 60. No one did that today except for Wapaka and Green Bay and Shawano. The rest of us were a bit cool today and will be even cooler tomorrow. Right now, though, it's 40 in Rhinelander, 39 for Tomahawk, so we're going to cool off into the low to mid-30s for low temperatures tonight, and there is some precipitation out there. Not a lot, just a little, with a couple rain showers out there that in a few spots have been mixing with a couple of flurries out there tonight. The air above us is very cold. You can get a couple flurries through that. The rain and snow will turn off tonight. Tomorrow, though, we'll keep the clouds around Sunday, too, with high temperatures in the 40s as all of this kind of pulling away, but the clouds are back here to the west of us. They will stick with us through the weekend. Our forecast then tonight, though, is mostly cloudy skies, a couple of rain showers and flurries out there with low temperatures down near 35. Your full forecast is coming up, Jessica.
Thank you, Jeff. Wisconsin has more than 15,000 lakes, many of which have long been used by Wisconsinites and visitors for various recreational activities. But some lake activities can cause long-lasting harm to ecosystems and shorelines by allowing algae and other invasive species to thrive. The president of the Oneida County Lakes and Rivers Association, Ted Rolsey, says wake boating can cause long-term harm to shorelines and ecosystems.
These boats operate in a bow-up position. They have very powerful engines, and the prop wash from that boat goes down and can stir up the bottom sediment and release phosphorus that contributes to the growth of algae and excessive aquatic plants.
Rolsey said wake boating too close to shorelines can be especially harmful to lake health. He added that while some may think he's against lake recreation, even the makers of wake boats say they should be used in deep water away from shore. Suicide rates are much higher in rural areas like Forest, Oneida, and Vilas counties. To lower these rates, the Northwoods COPE Coalition is trying to find ways to get help to those who need it. COPE stands for Community Outreach, Prevention, and Education. Their mission is to serve and support all people affected by mental health and substance use. Rachel Cornelius is the community health educator for the Vilas County Health Department. She says they're always looking for new ways to reach people who need help.
Most recently, we're doing a 988 campaign, which is a statewide campaign that we're making a little more local, utilizing businesses, for example, pharmacies.
The coalition is partnering with local pharmacies where they are using the 988 number stickers on medication bags. Pharmacist Brett Mudday says talking about suicide prevention is crucial.
It's extremely important. I think there's often a stigma behind it, and that kind of makes it hard for people to talk to us. But because we are accessible and because people do confide in us, it makes it that much easier for people to be able to approach us.
The 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline is available 24/7 for calls and text messages. Wisconsin politicians from across the state are opposing additional Capitol security despite an armed man attempting to access the governor's office twice on Wednesday. Wisconsin currently has one of the most open capitals in the nation, being one of 13 state capitals that do not have either metal detectors or x-ray machines, according to the Council of State Governments. Governor Evers told Wisconsin Watch that restricting access to the building or requiring people to go through security screening would, quote, be the last thing he wants to do. Total enrollment at Wisconsin's public and charter schools plunged during the pandemic and have not rebounded. The Wisconsin Policy Forum says pre-K through 12 enrollment in Wisconsin's public schools plummeted in the 2020-21 school year by more than 25,000 students. That's the largest decline in at least 35 years. The analysis found between 2019 and 2022, public enrollment kept declining, and they lost more than 32,000 students total. The nonprofit says declining birth rates and moving some students to homeschooling or private schools likely accounts for at least 2/3 of the decline. But they say between 4,500 to more than 11,000 students are unaccounted for in the data. The forum estimates that they're missing because the data was not collected or because they disconnected from the education system in Wisconsin. Monday will be Indigenous Peoples Day. To celebrate, there will be a powwow in the Wausau area this weekend. The event is hosted by the Central Wisconsin Indigenous Peoples Day Committee. The nonprofit was formed in 2019 to organize this annual powwow. Tricia Zunker is the committee's president and says that this is a great opportunity to learn more about the area's original people.
The dancers, they tell stories through their dances. They tell stories through their regalia. Many of them create their own regalia.
Everyone is invited to the free event at the Central Wisconsin Convention and Expo Center in Rothschild. Grand entry of the powwow will be happening at 1 p.m. and 7 p.m. on Saturday and on noon on Sunday. Along with the powwow, there will be a free traditional feast at 5 p.m. on Saturday. There will also be craft and food vendors that showcase Native American heritage. A Wisconsin tap room is offering a variety of drinks. Coming up, we'll explain what makes this place different than others in the area. That's After Weather with Jeff right here on Newswatch 12.
Choose one Hardee's English muffin with cheese, egg, and sausage, ham, or bacon. Then choose another for just $1. English muffin breakfast sandwiches. Now buy one, get one for $1. Hardee's. Goodness in the making.
Rock Oil Refining is looking for your business. We pick up and recycle used oil and other liquid and solid waste with our specialized collection trucks, making it convenient, affordable, and reliable for you. We're licensed, insured, and follow federal and state recycling regulations that work for the environment, not against it. Let our waste collection system work for you. We can come to pick it up or what option works best for you. To learn more about our collection and recycling services, visit rockoilrefining.com or call us today.
It's the most wonderful time of the year.
Non-drowsy Claritin D knocks out your worst allergy symptoms, including nasal congestion, without knocking you out. Feel the clarity and make today the most wonderful time of the year. Claritin D.
At Big Valley Ford, we know that car buying is more than just a transaction. It's an experience, and we're here to make it a great one. Our friendly and knowledgeable staff will guide you through finding the right vehicle to fit your needs and budget. Big Valley Ford is passionate about every vehicle that enters our service center, and our team of technicians are here to help you with all of your service needs. Stop into Big Valley in Ewan, Michigan, and experience a Big Valley difference.
Find can't miss events in the North Woods on the event page at WJFW.com. Join Nate Myhawk Thursdays on Up North at 4 as he takes a look ahead at events happening this week in the North Woods. Sponsored by Merrill Steel.
There's a new flavor at Hardee's, Nashville Hot Chicken. Juicy 100% white meat, hand-breaded and seasoned with a spicy kick. Hardee's new Nashville Hot Chicken and Nashville Hot Tenders. Both goodness in the making.
Well, this was fun. Some rain showers out there today. Lots of cloud cover, some wind, some rain, some clouds, and press repeat. Even a couple snow flurries out there at times. The air above us is really cold today, so some snowflakes got through. But overall, the rain and snow is ending, and tomorrow should be dry around here, but cool. It's 40 in Rhinelander currently. A northwest breeze at 8, a dew point there at 35. Pressure's rising as high pressure is now building in. Over in Wausau, west breeze at 8 as well. Temperature near 52 right now. The pressure is rising there also. Okay, so around the horn, temperatures hanging out upper 30s to mid 40s across much of the region currently. We're going to have lows in the low to mid 30s tonight and do it again tomorrow night and Sunday night and Monday night as well, as there is just a lot of cold air over here. This is all slowly sliding this way. You know, this time of year, the cold air always wins. It's heavy, it's dense. It won the war this time. Last weekend, temperatures near 80. This weekend, temperatures hanging out in the 40s. Oh, gotta have it, right? Winter in Wisconsin. All right, going forward, though. So 47 tomorrow, 48 for Sunday, 45 for Monday. We might do a 50 on Wednesday. That could be a stretch, though. So overall, again, the average high being 58, 59 or so. Will likely be below that the next 7 to 10 days around here. So we do this. This is a bit cool, though, for this early. But overall, though, we'll have high temperatures well below average the next 7 to 10 days around here. All right, looking outside now. Lots of cloud cover. And there are a couple breaks in the cloud cover across western Wisconsin now. Then there are a few showers in here, too, and some sprinkles, even a couple light snow flurries at times tonight. This will all get out of here this evening. And tomorrow should be dry as all this kind of slides toward the east and brings the east coast lots of rain. For us, though, we're going to be under the cloud cover tomorrow. Low pressure is close by. I'll look for a mostly cloudy day tomorrow and also for Sunday with temperatures hanging out in the 40s. For tonight, though, lots of clouds out there, a couple rain showers left over and a few flurries with low temperatures down near 35. Kind of windy in there, too. For tomorrow, lots of cloud cover, breezy and cool, high temperatures, kind of like today, upper 40s to low 50s across the area. And then looking ahead, your 7-day forecast by Northwoods Furniture and Mattress shows a dry stretch unfolding again. A cool weekend, Monday some sunshine, Tuesday too. High temperature Wednesday near 51. Next chance for rain on Thursday afternoon. Jessica.
Delta Airlines will pay millions of dollars to settle a class action lawsuit brought by customers. The customers sued Delta, claiming the airline would not refund their canceled flights during the COVID-19 pandemic. Instead of issuing refunds, Delta provided customers with credit for future travel. The lawsuit claimed that policy was unfair and deceptive. Delta will pay $27 million to customers who filed claims in the lawsuit on top of interest and legal fees. Delta says it does not admit to any wrongdoing, saying it has refunded 11 million tickets worth $6 billion since the start of the pandemic. A new central Wisconsin tap room is creating quite the buzz, but it's not from the alcohol. In a state with brands like Miller and Leinenkugels, a non-alcoholic brew is making a name for itself. Forward Beverage Company in Wausau offers a new social setting for people who do not drink alcohol. The non-alcoholic tap room was an idea Amy Yasner and her husband decided to pursue.
We make all of our drinks in-house, and we sell them 2 different ways. You can have them as a soft cocktail, which is what I get my kids. Or you could have it as a social seltzer, which is with hemp extract and ashwagandha. It promotes a feeling of calm and relaxation. It takes about 90 minutes, and it passes through your system.
Yasner's husband worked for a beverage company and uses his expertise as a chemist and physicist to create the unique drink recipes. Their concoctions are made in-house and sold off tap or in cans. During the month of October, they're extending their hours on Friday and Saturday until 9 p.m. For more information, you can visit our website. It's Friday night, which means high school football. Coming up, we'll have a recap of the top games across the area after the break.
What's the perfect way to spend a summer afternoon at your lake home? On a pier made by Pier de North. We're making a splash with time-saving piers because you deserve more ways to play and enjoy summer days. Made in St. Germain, come and visit us.
The perfectly melted cheese, the juicier patty, the golden bun, it's all here. Rubble, rubble. Well, it was a second ago.
Hurry in for 30% off any purchase of $5 or more. Only in the app.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
It's Ford Truck Month. Time to defeat any task in a Ford F-150. with all the capability, productivity, and technology of Ford F-Series. America's best-selling trucks 46 years straight. So get to Ford Truck Month and get into a built Ford tough truck.
Ain't nobody stopping me.
Lease a new Ford F-150 STX for $419 a month for 36 months. Only at your local Ford dealer.
Sue right, Jake middle, me on the left.
Yeah, I knew I'd win.
Are you saying
What's
something?
really happening over there?
I think you're on mute.
There's no substitute for real gaming fun. Go where fun lives. Old Chunk Gaming Wittenberg.
Huge online auction, Conover, Wisconsin. Complete woodworking shop, John Deere Gator, ATV snowblower, hobby fishing kayak, snowmobile, antique home contents, sporting goods, and more. Contact Brass and St. Louis Auction for more details.
You're watching NBC 12 from where you live.
Guess who's making a splash? Pierre Denord, of course. We make installing your dock easy enough for just with our peers, there's less maintenance, no rust, and no fuss because we're factory direct. Made in St. Germain, come and visit us.
If you hear some loud noises tomorrow near Marathon Park in Wausau, don't panic. It's more likely cars getting crushed by even bigger cars as the Monster Truck Nitro Tour returns to the area tomorrow. The Monster Truck Nitro Tour travels around the country from January to November to entertain anyone who loves the thrill of monster trucks and motorsports. This year's event will have new entertainment for attendees.
We have freestyle motocross jumping this year. We have, of course, tough truck racing, which we had last year. So it's a great family fun show. We have two performances, one at 1:30, one at 7:30 tomorrow.
The event will also have a school bus style monster truck that people can ride on. Tickets can be bought at the gate or at monstertrucktour.com. We'll have Friday Night Blitz after the break, but first, here's today's Big Old Fish.
Newswatch 12's Big Old Fish is brought to you by Kurt's Island Sports Shop in Minocqua.
I need a bigger boat.
Hey, I got a question for y'all. What part of the fish weighs the most? Why, it's scales, of course. All right. Well, let's move on with this week's Big Old Fish, and we start off with 11-year-old Levi Bowman. Now, he caught this beautiful 18-inch smallie on the Flambeau Flowage while fishing with his gramps. Now, it goes on to say that this bass actually hit a bluegill that Levi was already fighting. And both fish were released to fight another day. However, I bet we'd all agree that that bluegill probably had a pretty tough day, and even he would probably say, "Way to go, Levi, that is one big old fish. Way to go. Keep on reeling them in." Next up on this week's Big Old Fish, we have Max, who was fishing at the Plantico compound on Paradise Lake, catching bluegills, crappie, and bass. And then he caught this bass, which, by the way, was his favorite. And why wouldn't it be, Max? That is one big old fish. Way to go. Keep on reeling them in. Finally, on this week's Big Old Fish, we have Pete Maniti. I hope I got that name right. Anyway, he caught this stout muskie on the Chippewa River in Sawyer County back at the end of June of this year. Now, it goes on to say that this fish was also released to fight another day. Well, how cool is that? Well, I think you know what I'm going to say, Pete. That is one big old fish. Way to go. Keep on reeling them in.
All right, fishermen and women, make sure to keep those trophy pictures coming. All the information you need to be in a future episode of Big Old Fish and win a Northern Taxidermy fish mill is on our website, WJFW.com. And remember, anglers, fish on.
Hey, Wisconsin neighbors, as October arrives and the air starts to cool, it's the perfect time to embrace comfort and relaxation indoors. And nothing compares to unwinding in a soothing luxury tub or shower by Jacuzzi Bath Remodel. This October only, it's our Fall into Savings sale. Save 60% on bath or shower installations. Plus, Tundraland makes your dream project affordable. No money down, no interest, and no payments for 12 months. Call 1-800-TUNDRALAND or visit Tundraland.com today.
800-TUNDRALAND. Tundraland.com.
Yes, can I help you? Nicolay? I've been doing this since Jimmy Carter was president in the 1980s. No, you don't need Nicolay. I can do it.
Whoa, man. If they want the real Nicolay, they should get the real Nicolay.
Thank you. Russell Nicolay here. Yep, we can help.
In a world full of choices, make sure you get the real Nicolay.
It's all right. It's okay. I understand. No big deal. No big deal.
Do you know the secret to losing up to 1 pound of fat every day? At Wausau Weight Loss, we know the secret. Our unique doctor-supervised program makes it easy to lose weight, get healthy, and get your energy back safely, naturally, and effectively. If you'd love to lose unhealthy fat without counting points or calories, no exercising, no prepackaged meals, no HCG, no drugs, no hypnosis or surgery, call Wausau Weight Loss today at 715-203-8695.
Hi, I'm Carrie from Wittenberg. I lost over 100 pounds and 68 inches. I know the secret. Prior to starting this program, I suffered with chronic migraines, lots of joint aches and pains, didn't have the energy to be the mom that I needed to be. My energy level's back, my confidence is back. I would definitely recommend this program to anyone looking for a change.
For your free private weight loss consultation, call Wausau Weight Loss today at 715-203-8695.
Today, it seems everyone can be their own service technician thanks to the internet. From servicing their own cars and engines to home remodels and projects, people are trying a little of everything. Here at Maher Water Corporation, we employ nationally certified and factory-trained technicians to keep your water treatment systems working to their full lives. We will treat you like our own family.
So if you want us to service your equipment, give us a call. But if you're the fix-it-yourself kind of person, we'll enjoy your funny video clips.
Friday Night Blitz is brought to you by Rock Oil Refining Incorporated. Your blitz starts now.
Welcome to the Friday Night Blitz. I'm Saul Meyer, and that is my partner, Drew Chelly. Drew, some massive games tonight, wouldn't you say?
Oh, for sure. The stakes were high, and we had some conference titles on the line.
The Marewood Conference had a chance to be won tonight, but we'll get to that later and start with our game of the week.
Last year's Great Northern Conference winner and runner-up were Mosinee and Medford, respectively, and this year it is the same matchup.
Newswatch 12's Will Harrelson was at the game, and here he is behind us right here where the fate of the GNC was decided.
All right, Will, did Mosinee repeat, or was it Medford who retook the Great Northern Conference at home?
Well, guys, it was a cold and wet evening here in Medford, but that did not stop how Mosinee performed. They had a solid all-around performance as they won this high-stakes GNC affair 14-0. They came into this one and really set the tone right away as their defense really shut down the Raiders all night long. Head coach Kyle Stoffel said that coming into tonight's game, shutting down Medford's run game was the key.
Well, obviously the game plan is to slow down their run. If you can make them pass, I think that's our advantage. Obviously they had some success throwing the ball more than I thought they would, but yeah, if we can take the run away from them, you got a good chance to beat these guys.
This Mosinee team started the year with a tough home loss to Stratford, but now has won 7 straight games by double digits. Coach Stoffel says this was a complete team effort.
I'm extremely proud. If you would have told me I was going to come in here tonight and get a shutout against a team like this, I would have told you you're crazy. But we stepped up. We've been playing defense like crazy the last 6 weeks now, and couldn't be more proud of these guys, and extremely happy.
As I mentioned before, Mosinee clinched a share of the GNC title, which is their seniors class's 3rd conference title. They are now getting ready to finish off the regular season against Merrill before they head into the playoffs. Back to you guys.
Well, congrats to Mosinee on winning the Great Northern Conference. Those two teams have been battling it out all season long, and now they're looking forward to the playoffs.
Yeah, it was a collision course, but it wasn't the only GNC game going on tonight. Lakeland Union hosted Hayward, where a win for the T-Birds would put them in a great spot to finish 3rd in the conference. The Hayward Hurricanes paid a visit to Lakeland Union to try to snap the T-Birds' 3-game win streak. We start in the first quarter. Lakeland's Hakeem Birkeland would pick off Hayward for what would almost be a pick 6. He's going to get pushed out of bounds inside the 1-yard line, setting up 1st and goal for Lakeland. Noah Bruckner would capitalize on the pick, scoring on the 2-yard touchdown run on the very next play. Lakeland would go on to win this one 20-11, extending their win streak to 4 games and qualifying for the postseason.
Now to Crandon, where the 7-2 Cardinals host the 7-2 Oconto Falls Panthers. First quarter, Oconto Falls with the ball. A little trickery here, but it's snuffed out by that Cardinals defense. Panthers forced a punt. Now to the end of the first quarter, Cardinals down 6-0, but here comes Mason Mullins and that power T offense. He takes the handoff, cuts upfield, and he is gone. Touchdown Cardinals. They evened it up at 6 apiece. But tonight would ultimately be the Panthers' night. In the second quarter, bobbled snap is no problem for former WIS Sports Athlete of the Week's Alex Haynes. He busts the game wide open for this 45-yard touchdown run. Oconto Falls wins it 32-20. Crandon will finish off their season next week at Coleman.
We got some area scores for you. Tomahawk went on the road tonight. They posted a shutout in a 7-0 win over Westfield. Spash, man, they're rolling. They kept their conference run going on the road at Marshfield. They posted a 28-0 shutout to grab the win. Stratford continues another solid season. They're going for another state championship with a 56-0 win over Waiwega Fremont. We'll be right back after the break.
Menke Automotive, locally owned and employee-focused, so our team creates a great atmosphere. Our showroom is packed with the trusted American brand GMC and more. Menke Automotive, we work hard to exceed your automotive expectations.
A 33-year-old woman has fenders and a new headlight installed on her bike, but the parts are badly designed and cause her to crash. She never walks again. She decides to hire Habish, Rotier, and she receives $14.5 million. The Habish team negotiates with the headlight manufacturer in Germany, the fender company in Hong Kong, the fender designer in Madison, and the bike shop in Seattle. It is literally the opposite of one phone call and a quick settlement. Habish, Rotier. National reputation, hometown service.
To everyone who craves a fresh meal, come have a taste of Wisconsin.
America's Dairyland.
As in real dairy.
It gives Culver's fresh frozen custard its famous rich and creamy flavor. Like really rich.
So rich.
Rich and creamy.
And our cook-to-order Butterburgers?
They're topped with, you guessed it, Wisconsin cheese.
But it's the smiles we put on your face with every meal made just for you.
That really makes our hearts melt.
From Wisconsin with love.
Welcome to Delicious.
Nice.
ABBA Mania, the rock musical, is the #1 ABBA production in the world. You'll hear Waterloo, SOS, Fernando, The Winner Takes It All, Dancing Queen, and many more. You won't want to miss this one. Friday, October 13th at the Campanile Center for the Arts in downtown Minocqua.
Waterloo, knowing my face to be with you.
Rock Oil Refining is looking for your business. We pick up and recycle used oil and other liquid and solid waste with our specialized collection trucks, making it convenient, affordable, and reliable for you. We're licensed, insured, and follow federal and state recycling regulations that work for the environment, not against it. Let our waste collection system work for you. We can come to pick it up or what option works best for you. To learn more about our collection and recycling services, visit rockoilrefining.com or call us today.
Menke Automotive, locally owned and employee-focused, so our team creates a great atmosphere. Our showroom is packed with the trusted American brand GMC and more. Menke Automotive, we work hard to exceed your automotive expectations.
Join the conversation when you're on the go. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram to stay up to date. Newswatch 12, from where you live.
Friday Night Blitz is brought to you by Rock Oil Refining Incorporated. Your blitz starts now.
Welcome back to the Friday Night Blitz. I'm Saul Meyer, and that is Drew Chelly. Drew, we already saw one conference champion crowned today with Mosinee winning the GNC.
But what about the Merriwood Conference? Edgar dropped their Week 1 matchup to Ellsworth, and they have not looked back. The Wildcats have not given up a point in conference play all season long, and a win at home against Auburndale would clinch their spot as the final Merriwood Conference champions in history. Auburndale on the road. They're going to try to spoil Edgar's senior night. We're going to start in the first quarter. Edgar going to take an early shot downfield, but it's going to result in an interception. It's going to be picked off by Blake Rabb. Auburndale going to make the first big defensive play of the night. Edgar would get the ball back right away. Tegan Strike going to roll out of the pocket. He's going to throw back across the field to Jace Apfelbeck, who's going to make the catch. He's going to add some yards after that, and he's going to pick up a first down. That drive would end in 6. Carter Butt going to punch it in from a yard out. Edgar posts their 6th shutout in a row. They win this one 41-0.
And let's stay in the Marewood Conference for one of the biggest rivalries. Abbotsford hosting Colby. In the first quarter, Abbotsford showing off that defense. Fake jet sweep, and the QB keeps it, but Abby doesn't fall for it one bit. A swarm of Falcons come in to make the tackle on the great defensive play. That forces a 4th and 9. However, on that 4th and 9, halfback draw to Gavin Voss, who goes enough yards untouched, makes a few guys miss, and is finally brought down, but not after getting a Hornets first down. Later that drive, it's Voss again, Voss Water, and he powers his way into the end zone for a Colby touchdown, and they're going to go on to win this rivalry game 49-14.
Pittsville on the road as they're going to take on, or they took on the Marathon Red Raiders. We're going to start in the second quarter. Pittsfield, little read option QB keeper, and they block it well. They're going to pick up the first down. Later in the drive, though, they're going to turn it over. They're going to go deep, but this one is a floater. It is picked off by Cooper Huxama, and he's going to return this one back all the way to the 45. It would give Marathon a chance to drive before halftime. Last play of the first half, Huxama is going to run around a bit in the pocket, and then he's going to fling one to Truthers. Yes, Truthers. What a name. And he's going to do the rest. Touchdown on the last play of the half. Marathon goes on to win this one 33-22.
And a Marewood Conference team in every sport except football. Athens in action hosting Greenwood. In the second quarter, check out the trickeration from the Blue Jays. Nobody knows who has it until Evan Paseo is already 20 yards down the field, and he's going to go ahead and waltz his way into the end zone on the monster touchdown run. And first on offense, now on defense, it's Paseo laying the boom for the Blue Jays. And why not give it to this kid again? Next offensive possession, who else? It's Paseo. He's off to the races, and he cannot be stopped. We're going to call it an unofficial 92-yard house call, and Athens took over. They win this one 50-6. And after all those Marewood Conference games, let's check out the standings for the Marewood Conference in their final season. With their win over Auburndale, Edgar has now won the conference and are the final Marewood Conference champions in history. The rest of the field isn't set, though, with one more week left of football. Next week, Colby and Auburndale will face off in a battle for second and third place. Following them is the team Colby just beat, their rival Abbotsford, and then Marathon, who are tied for fourth place after going 3-3 so far this season in Marewood games. And in last place is Pittsville, who's only one game behind Marathon and Abbotsford. So with all those games coming up next week, it is sure to be an exciting one in the final week for Marewood Conference games ever.
Yeah, what a great bunch of games we covered tonight, Saul.
Absolutely, Drew. The regular season wraps up next week, but a lot of conference champions were crowned tonight, too.
Yeah, and we saw two very impressive teams, Moseny and Edgar, each take care of business. Impressive victories. I mean, congratulations to both those teams. Well-deserved conference champions. No flukes there. The rest of conference titles will be decided next week.
Yeah, thanks for watching. I'm Saul Meyer for Drew Chelly. Y'all have a great night.
Choose one Hardee's English muffin with cheese, egg, and sausage, ham, or bacon. Then choose another for just $1. English muffin breakfast sandwiches. Now buy one, get one for $1. Hardee's. Goodness in the making.
It's Ford Truck Month. Time to defeat any task in a Ford F-150 with all the capability, productivity, and technology of Ford F-Series. America's best-selling trucks 46 years straight. So get to Ford Truck Month and get into a built Ford tough truck.
Ain't nobody stopping me.
Lease a new Ford F-150 STX for $419 a month for 36 months. Only at your local Ford dealer.
Finish your exterior project in time for fall with Menards. Aluminum soffit is low maintenance and easy to install. Pre-finished panels are stocked in white, brown, and black, ready to take home today. All aluminum soffit is 11% off. Transform your home with a new garage door from Ideal Door. We have multiple styles of 9x7 and 16x7 size doors in stock today. Get a 9x7 garage door for $334.99 after 11% rebate.
Save big money at Menards.
Huge online auction, Conover, Wisconsin. Complete woodworking shop, John Deere Gator, ATV snowblower, hobby fishing kayak, snowmobile, antique home contents, sporting goods, and more. Contact Brass and St. Louis Auction for more details.
So, first day of school, last day of your lives.
I want to kill people. I set the date. You are going to regret not talking to me. Oh, you have no idea what I'm talking about, but you will.
Hey, fair warning. Stay home tomorrow if you want to live.
Today is the day.
The day my massacre begins.
After all the name calling,
I want to go down as the best school shooter in history.